Okay, so this is quite fun. What we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to play what I've just been playing without really knowing much about how to play a ukulele. So you're going to sound like you know what you're doing, you're going to sound like you're just freestyling and making up something that sounds pretty cool, and it's going to sound quite impressive. Let's get to it. Okay, so we move to a little bit of a closer up view for you so you can see what I'm doing with my fingers. What we're going to do is we're just going to be fretting on the bottom two strings, and what I'm doing is I'm plucking those two strings together with my index and second finger, and then I'm using my thumb to pick up the G string, the top string. I'm not using the C string at all in this. And it all comes down to where you place your fingers. So there are a load of positions where we can place our fingers on the fretboard that going to give us this really natural sound, and we can just improvise with those positions. So starting right at the bottom, we're going to start on the index finger on the second fret and our second finger on the third fret of the next string up. And just pluck that. So I'm just alternating between plucking the bottom two strings with my index and second fingers and the G string with my thumb. So that's our first position. We're then going to slide that up by one fret. So I'm sliding up by one fret. Then I'm removing my second finger here, and I'm going to drop my third finger on the fifth fret of the E string. That means I've now got 3 and 5 fretted. I'm just going to pluck those. So between those two positions that I've just showed you, you're going to have something that sounds like this. And that's all the positions, so we've only really got two to worry about. One that uses our index and second finger, and another position that uses our index and third finger. And then we're just going to slide those to the appropriate parts of our fretboard. So that's our starting on our second fret and our third fret covered. We're then going to slide that whole shape up 2 frets. That's our next position. We're going to slide that up 2 frets again, but this time we're going to drop our second finger back in place and remove our third finger off. So I've now got fretted on the bottom string, I have fret 7, and on the next string up I have fret 8, using my first and second fingers. So just looking at that position with the one I showed you prior to that. And did you see how I slowly slid between the two? So what I'm doing to get between the two is I'm just sliding up to the right point and adding my second finger and removing my third, or doing the complete opposite of that as I slide back down. So as I slide back down, you see me slowly slide down and drop my third finger on. And again, I'm going to slide up by a single fret here. And we're going to come back to our first and third fingers. So now I have fret 8 fretted with my index finger and fret 10 with my third finger. I'm going to slide that up 2 more frets. And that's everything. So how many have we got there? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions. We can go past the 12th fret. I'm not going to do it for this lesson today. We're going to just stay up to the 12th fret. That should give us plenty to play with. And now it's really just about improvisation. So it's going to take you a little bit of time to be able to comfortably move between those shapes that I've given you. But with a little bit of practice, you'll have that down. It doesn't take an awful lot. And from there on in, it's really just for us to improvise with our right hand and with our left hand as well, sliding between those shapes. So in the intro, when I was playing around, and I can't remember it exactly because I was just making it up, I think I started on the 7th fret shape with our first and second fingers. So just play around with that, start trying some different things. So sometimes what I do is I will double pluck the bottom 2 strings. or alternatively you can just pick around. So instead of the double plucking, I'm just going to use a simple finger picking pattern. So they're just starting to mix up a little bit of finger picking and my double pluck. But you can just play around and do whatever you like with this. And it might be quite nice to get a few slides in there as well where you can. So it's going to be a little bit easier to just slide between the ones where we're holding the same position. I'm going to use the one from the 3rd and the 5th fret, and I'm going to slide that up. That sounds quite nice as well. And you can just totally play around with this, do what you like to do, have a play around. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to, but you'll find little ways to kind of make this sound interesting and make it sound more interesting. But you should be able to impress your friends with this one, and they'll say, what is that you're playing? And you'll just be able to say, I'm making it up. I'm totally making it up. And the more time you spend on it, the better it's going to sound. The reason why it works, without wanting to get too technical, because it's probably bore you to tears, all the notes that we're playing are in the C major scale. They just work well together. So we're picking our notes wisely is what we're doing with this. Just went slightly above the 12th fret there, so I picked up number 12 and 13. But do what you like, have fun with it. So hopefully you've learned something new there. If you do something cool with it, post it on Instagram and tag me in, stick it on YouTube, let me know, drop me an email, drop me a message in the comment with a link to your video. I'd like to see what you do with it. I'm sure somebody out there will do something better than me. Most of you are probably capable of that, actually. And one thing I was just doing, as I was about to wrap up the video, is just strumming through. So strumming all the strings. Sounds quite nice too. So you've got plenty of options there in what you can do. It's just a bit of a fun one, throwaway. Hope you have fun with it. Let me know. Thanks for watching. See you guys.